exciting. We're going to be doing this for months.
This is the best.
It's beautiful.
Good.
All right. Well, tomorrow is National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day, and there are so many animals looking for their forever homes, but unfortunately, some are overlooked because of very minor medical ailments. But Larissa and board-certified veterinary surgeon Dr. Courtney Campbell are here to break down some common illnesses seen in shelters and explain why it should not stop any of us from adopting one of these beautiful animals. Welcome, Larissa, and welcome, Dr.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here. It's a really important
Do you love
topic.
it?
Yes,
Yes.
and it feels good. It just feels
You feel comfortable?
This is great.
It's a great feeling to talk about pets.
That's
It
right.
really
That's right.
is.
Settle
And
in.
as Cameron said earlier, what makes a house a home? A pet.
you go.
So you should not shy away from adopting some pets from shelters just because they have very minor medical ailments. So what are the most common, would you say?
Well, listen,
Dr.
today what
Courtney?
we're going to get a chance to talk about are canine cough. We're going to talk about intestinal parasites and then a condition called cherry eye. But I think the way that we're kind of contextualizing this today is key. These are minor medical things, and when it comes to medical conditions, I tell prospective pet parents, don't stop, just adopt, right? Because you can, some of these will go away on their own. Some of these just need a very short course of medical treatment, and they're going to be happy and healthy. So that's the key, I think.
And the key is they are minor.
Right.
They're
That's
minor.
it.
They're minor. And here's another interesting point is from what we've learned from Larissa that sometimes the shelter conditions can contribute to these ailments. And then you're stuck in this vicious circle, this kind of catch-22 situation.
Absolutely. Here's the funny thing about shelters. They're not usually the nicest place you want to be in. And a lot of dogs that are there, especially over time, their immune systems die down because they're stressed. It's loud, it's cold, it's sometimes wet. I think we have some photos of, dogs sitting in their kennels where they've been cleaned out with water and the water's still there, or they're super bored, or they're cramped and they're with 3 other dogs in there. And that leads to bugs that they wouldn't normally pick up being able to take over their body and make them sick. And the longer they're there, the more it happens. And I've seen, animals be adopted and then brought right back because they're coughing now. And that's only going to make them worse. So it's just...
All right.
So listen,
Vicious circle.
right, and that's an interesting angle. I mean, we talk about these medical conditions for the pet's wellness, for human wellness, which we'll get to later, but also to prevent that vicious cycle. So I think it's really important she brought that up. One particular condition which comes to mind at the top of the list when I think about lowering the immune system is something that people unfortunately have termed kennel cough. Now,
Right, isn't it kennel? I heard you say canine cough.
Well, yeah, and that's key. I love how you brought that up because I think the word kennel cough sort of unfairly stigmatizes kennels as the only place where you can pick up this cough. The truth is, canine cough you can get from anywhere. Grooming facilities, daycare, the kennel, even
dog
parks, even a veterinarian's office you can get it. Now, let's be honest, the sort of canine cough has a really distinctive sound. Everybody's heard that dry hacking cough. I think we may even have a video of it, of that dry hacking cough. Has everybody heard that sound?
Yeah, I'm not sure I know
take
what
a
it is.
listen.
Let's take a listen. Let's see if we can hear it. Because I think it'll... Yeah, there it is.
Yep,
So
that's
is
what
the
it
cough
sounds
the only
like.
symptom?
Not necessarily, and most of the time, I'll talk to pet parents and I'll say, I think my dog's gagging at home because that distinctive cough they think sounds like their pet's gagging. Here's the reality: canine cough is into 2 categories: the complicated and the uncomplicated. Uncomplicated is simply a cough, and a lot of times those will go away on their own. Check with your vet first because every case is different. The complicated ones have a fever, runny eyes, nasal discharge. They get things coming out of their nose. So when you think about
think
canine
I may
cough,
have had canine cough.
right? Exactly. And sometimes the complicated ones can progress to pneumonia. So we don't want
no.
that. So when it comes to that, understand nothing to be scared of. The complicated versus uncomplicated, a lot of times all you need is a little antibiotic.
Okay, all right.
And
All
it's
right, let's
gone.
move on to another ailment as well. The intestinal parasites
Yes.
are a biggie. Those are pretty common, and they can sometimes manifest or take the form of worms, right?
And if you rescue a dog, more than likely they're going to have some kind of intestinal parasite.
Okay.
And it's easy to see it and go, ew, oh my God, get rid of this dog. Don't do that. It's no big deal.
I'm going to double down on your pretty likely and fairly common and say parasites are everywhere. They're almost so ubiquitous, and it's partly because of something you had mentioned earlier. Their immune system is lower, which because of the stress of the shelter, and makes them more prone to get them. Now, the usual suspects are tapeworms. I think we've got a picture of tapeworms.
Okay.
They look like rice grains. I think everybody's seen
Oh, my goodness, and you can
right?
see
Not
that?
to get
Yeah.
too gross, but they look like rice grains. And then you
Okay.
have the roundworms, which look a little like spaghetti. Unfortunately, I hope we're not going to eat spaghetti anytime soon, but they certainly look like that. And then, of course, you've got whipworms, Giardia, Coccidia. Here's another important point. Some of these humans can get them too. So what you want to do is just make sure that I talk to pet parents who have just recently adopted a pet. I say, how's everything going? Excellent. I have their vaccine records, and I say to them, have you checked your pet to make sure you're not bringing a pet with parasites in your home? And I'll get a blank stare.
Right.
So bring your brand new adopted dog to your veterinarian, and a lot of times you were saying actually that you get a free visit.
Yeah,
By your veterinarian.
that's the great thing about adopting from a shelter. When you pay for the dog, you usually get, or cat, a free vet voucher so that you can go get them checked for all this stuff
Nice.
for free to make sure that you feel comfortable
Super
and
helpful.
can get them on any kinds of antibiotics that
So
they
they
need.
do a full physical
Yes.
when you do that.
Absolutely.
That's
And a fecal
wonderful.
check just to make sure no intestinal parasites.
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about something called cherry eye, which I
Yes.
saw on one dog, and a friend of mine's dog in New York, we immediately thought she had cancer and ran to the vet screaming, our dog has cancer. What are we
Right.
going to do?
Yeah,
But
because
that's not it at all. It's very simple.
Well, sure, and it's really striking appearance. I mean, if you've ever seen a dog who has cherry eye, it looks like they have two small cherries in the corner of the eye. And people say, well, what is that? What is that? Is it cancer? And the good news is the answer is no, it's not cancer. Dogs have a protrusion of their third eyelid. Now, I know some people are going to say, did he just say third eyelid? Yup, unlike humans, which just have two, dogs actually have a third eyelid. And it kind of works like a windshield wiper on the cornea. It wipes away debris and gives tears. So about 30% of the tear production. So if you see it pop forward, surgery.
And there's my
Piggly.
little Piggly. And when I first rescued Piggly, and of course I was only fostering her, ha ha ha, she had a little cherry eye in one of her eyes. And then, she hadn't been spayed. We took her to get spayed. They fixed the cherry eye as well. It does require sometimes some surgery. But it was so simple, and she's fine, and it's gone, and she never knows the
Super
difference.
straightforward procedure. I love the way she
Yeah.
said that. Economical, and it doesn't shorten their lifespan. So don't be afraid of that.
But not all cherry eye requires surgery.
Almost all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would say less than 10% don't.
Okay.
So I know a lot of pet parents will try and poke it back in
makes
or
it
use a
worse, I
Q-tip
think.
or-
Don't do that.
Do not do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you can scratch the cornea
would
and
they
it'd
do
be
that?
bad news.
But again,
no,
it
like
can
it.
look scary, but shouldn't scare you from bringing
Absolutely.
that pet home.
That's fine. Just don't go
fall in
poking
love.
it. That's all.
Yes.
So cherry eye does usually require surgery, but most of these ailments, like you alluded to, are pretty simple, right? Just a quick trip to the vet will more than likely be able to handle
Don't stop,
all of
just
them.
adopt.
Don't
Exactly.
stop, just adopt. We love you,
Yeah.
Dr. Courtney. You're awesome. And thank you so much, Larissa.
Thank you.
For more information, you all go to savebythel.com and follow Dr. Courtney on social media on @DrCourtneyDVM.
Great job, guys. Later on Home and Family, Paige lights up our nights by turning these into these. And sweeten up your day with a slice of delightful strawberry quick bread. Strawberries are my absolute favorite, but I have never had them taste this good.